You see, right now in the gacha space, there's a lot going on, and also somehow nothing going on at the same time. When it comes to the actual games themselves, we're in the middle of a massive content drought, and you can feel it across the entire community. But even in times like this, content still needs to be made. So let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk drama. Because on that end of things, there's been no shortage. Genocide, Tecton, the whole 7 out of 10 situation, it's been a lot. And yes, we're going to touch on those situations, but they're not the main focus of this video. What I really want to dive into today is something else. A video by an absolutely amazing content creator named Cyrusness, who tackled the concept of gacha tribalism. And I genuinely believe this is one of the more important discussions we need to have, because these are the kind of conversations that push the gacha space forward. So we're going to answer two very important questions. The first one is, am I to blame for gacha tribalism? And by extension, are content creators in general to blame? Because even in the Cyrusness video, there were some very clear points made. Content creators have played a huge role in fueling tribalism in the gacha space. But in this video, I want to dig into that idea a bit more, share my perspective on the role content creators play in the community, and more importantly, reflect on my own role. Have I personally added fuel to the fire? And by doing so, have other creators like me helped shape the divide we're seeing across the gacha fandoms? The second we're going to explore is this. Are you to blame for gacha tribalism? And by you, I mean you watching this video. The people who post on Twitter, YouTube, Discord, hyping up Genshin, defending Wuthering Waves, debating Honkai or ZZZ. Do fans have a part in all of this? Now, because this video goes a bit deeper than my usual uploads, we're splitting this into a two-part series. Part 1, this video, would answer the content creator side of things, and the next video, part 2, will answer the fan side of things. So if you're into this kind of content, make sure to like the video and share your thoughts down below, especially about the role of content creators in all of this. Do you think we're to blame? Do I have a hand in gacha tribalism? Let me know what you think, and of course subscribe and hit the notification bell on any of my future videos. And let's get into it. Before we answer the core question, we have to ask, what exactly is gacha tribalism? You see, if you go online, you'll find a bunch of definitions. Everyone seems to have their own spin on it, and honestly, it can get a little confusing. But I like to keep it simple. Gacha tribalism is just what it sounds like. The word gacha attached to tribalism. So the question now is, what exactly is tribalism? You see, as someone who comes from a nation of tribes, literally a country built on the foundation of many different tribes, I can tell you, the core of tribalism boils down to two things: loyalty and superiority. Tribalism isn't just about community, it's about identity. When you're born into a tribe, there is this deep sense of loyalty you carry, no matter what. Whether the actions of your tribe makes you proud or ashamed, that loyalty remains. It's not just about agreeing with everything. They could be right, they could be wrong, but that sense of belonging overrides that, because at the end of the day, that tribe is a part of who you are. And from there, superiority starts to take shape. You start noticing little things your tribe does differently or better, things other tribes don't do or don't do as well. Maybe it's the way you speak, maybe it's your values, your customs, the way you interact, how you show respect. It could be the food, the traditions, the vibe, whatever it is. You start to build this quiet belief that your tribe does it right. It becomes the foundation for a feeling. We are better because of this. Our tribe is superior, and that's the core of tribalism. Deep loyalty stacked with small differences used to place your own group above the rest. So gacha tribalism is just that, but with gacha. You find a gacha game and it gives you a sense of belonging. Maybe it's the gameplay, maybe it's the community, but you feel like you're home, and that feeling becomes powerful. Now, no matter what the game does or what the community does, you'll defend it. Not because it's always right, but because attacking it feels like attacking you. This isn't about what's good or bad anymore, it's about protecting your identity. And then comes the superiority. Maybe your game isn't perfect, maybe you know it's not doing the right thing, but you find that one thing that it does better than the others. Just one mechanic, one art style, one design choice. And suddenly that becomes the flag you raise to justify everything else. That becomes the excuse to elevate your game, to ignore the flaws, and to dismiss any other game as lesser. That, at its core, is gacha tribalism. So now, are content creators to blame for gacha tribalism? You see, in the Cyrusness video, she didn't just throw blames at content creators and walk away. She blamed everyone worth blaming. Yes, content creators were called out for pushing tribal narratives, for stoking fan wars, but she also directed blame towards something else: the structure of YouTube itself, the algorithm. She pointed out how the algorithm doesn't reward depth. It punishes creators who take time to think, to research, to be measured. And in response, creators start leaning on hyperbole. First in the thumbnails, then in the titles, then in the videos themselves, all to stay relevant, all to stay afloat. It pushes creators towards what the internet lovingly calls slop content. And Gacha Smack's reaction video gave the perfect example. He showed two of his own uploads. One was a simple reaction to Augusta and Yuno's animation. He just turned up the camera, reacted, and posted it, and that video blew up, over 100,000 views. Then later, he released a highly researched highly prepared video he'd been teasing for weeks. He gave breakdowns, analyzed the entire story, pulled up footage, written notes. It was work, real work. And when he finally put it out, just a little below 30,000 views. So when we ask, are gacha creators to blame? Cyrus absolutely captured one of the core nuances of that question. But I want to touch on another. And that's the nuance when it comes to comparing these games. Because at the heart of tribalism, whether it's in gacha or anything else, is comparison. Comparing one aspect of something you love to something else, measuring it, ranking it, defending it. And here in 2025, the biggest comparison we keep seeing is Genshin Impact versus Wuthering Waves, or really Hoyo Games versus Wuthering Waves. If you go online, it is everywhere. You'll find more comparison videos than you can count. Every single move Hoyoverse makes, every patch, every banner, every feature is compared directly to Wuthering Waves and vice versa. And why? Well, part of the reason is because the algorithm rewards it massively. That comparison, that tension, that fuel, the algorithm pushes it, it promotes it. And I'm no stranger to it myself. The biggest video on my channel is a direct comparison between Mavrika and Augusta. So yeah, I have done it. I have made those videos just like many other creators. And yes, by doing that, we have all stoked the flames of tribalism, whether intentionally or not. But does that make us villains? Should you start sharpening your pitchforks and chasing us out of the community? Well, this is where the real nuance comes in. You see, when it comes to comparing games within the gacha space, I've noticed that there are two types of content creators, those with nuance and those without. Just like how once upon a time, many creators were all about hyping up Genshin, no matter what the patch bought. Nowadays, there's a strong trend to compare Wuthering Waves to Genshin Impact. And more often than not, the goal seems to be to elevate Wuthering Waves, regardless of whether it truly deserves that pedestal. It's all about direct comparisons to Genshin or other Oyo games. And I think that inherently, this approach can be a bit flawed. Because when you look at creators who do apply nuance, you notice a subtle but important difference in their content. And that difference is truth. They put in genuine belief instead of blind praise. It means being willing to give credit where it's due to the game that you're comparing against, and offering criticism where it's warranted for your favorite game. You see, I wholeheartedly believe that Wuthering Waves is a better game than Genshin Impact, 100%, no hesitation. But by no means do I think Wuthering Waves is a perfect game. Like yes, when the 2.5 update dropped and we got that incredible Flawed story, I praised it, rightfully so. But during the live stream, I also made it clear that the rest of the patch is pretty dead. If you're looking for actual fun, meaningful events, or a patch that feels more player friendly, Genshin has more to offer right now, and that's just the reality. And I said exactly that when I reacted to both live streams side by side, Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact. I think the Genshin trailer was better. Wuwa's trailer, it's not that Wuwa's trailer was bad, it was empty. So in my mind, we're going to go 6 weeks with nothing but emptiness. Genshin is actually full. There is the whole summer events, there is the Mare Javari, there is the Inofa, I don't know her name. There is the Inofa Archon quest. There's all these things to do. So yeah, the Genshin one was better, I will admit that. I've also been honest about the Fraxidus. Yes, they're interesting, they've got potential, but they're not the Fatui, not yet. Genshin gave us way more intrigue, development and presence with the Fatui early on than Wuthering Waves has done with the Fraxidus. Could the Grand Architects flip that later? Sure, but right now, the Fatui are the more compelling faction and Genshin handles that better. And going into these games, analyzing these games, I've come to understand that as flawed as Genshin is, there are areas where Genshin excels even more so than Wuthering Waves. And then even when you take Genshin out of the equation entirely, when you look at Wuthering Waves just as a game on its own, you start to notice even more cracks. Flaws that so many creators in this space have pointed out time and time again. Like how Dreaming Deep might honestly be one of the worst events in Wuthering Waves, or how the recent Whimpering Waste might just be one of the worst in Wuthering Waves history. Even during their anniversary, the one time you'd expect them to show appreciation to the community, they completely flopped. And again, these are not hot takes, these are things countless creators have talked about. We've seen this conversation all over the place. And here's the truth I believe gacha content creators who approach comparison with nuance truly understand. Yes, when a gacha company listens to its player base and puts in the work to improve its game, that appreciation is absolutely deserved, no question. But at the end of the day, a gacha company is still a gacha company. Whether it's Hoyoverse, Kuro Games, or any other studio, placing blind faith in them, believing they'll handle every issue to a satisfying degree without player intervention, or worse, with the community focused solely on blind praise, is the epitome of naivety. Compare comparison isn't just about hype, it's about holding up a mirror, not only to the game that's falling short, but to other games, both current and upcoming, to ask, what could this game become if just a little more effort was consistently applied? And the one thing that plagues every single gacha company, whether it's Hoyoverse or Kuro, is complacency. It's that creeping feeling of we've done enough. Sometimes it's there from the start, sometimes it builds up over time, but once it sets in, the quality drops and the game suffers. And I believe that this is the heart of the comparison that creators are really making. We're not just comparing characters, events, or graphics, we're comparing the trajectory of these companies, their values, their ambitions, their willingness to evolve or stagnate. Because what we don't want is to wake up one day and realize that Wuthering Waves has become just like Genshin, a game that used to feel special, a game where it feels like the devs just stopped trying. So when it comes to gacha tribalism, when it comes to only picking a side and standing by your favorite gacha game at the expense of another, whether it's defending Genshin Impact and trashing Wuthering Waves, or hyping up Wuthering Waves while clowning on Genshin, you're really not helping. You're actually doing more harm than good to the very game you're trying to support. Because when you create content that only praises and never critiques, you put your favorite gacha games on a pedestal, and guess who's watching? The devs, the publishers, and the companies behind the game. And if they all see blind praise, they start to believe they've done enough. Every gacha game, every single one, deserves both criticism and respect. You give respect where it's earned, and you give criticism where it's needed, because both of these things are vital. It's not about hating or fanboying, it's about making sure these games are the best versions of themselves, not just for us players, but for the entire community long run. And this is one of those things where it is very easy for you to get lost in the sauce. Very easy to lose that balance. But as content creators, this is the balance we have to strike. But hey, what do you think? Do you believe content creators are a part of the problem, or do you support that kind of content? Or maybe you've got a different take entirely. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.